everybody, and welcome in to Real Deal Sports Talk. It's me, KP, your host, just like always. What great weather we're having today. Is everybody enjoying this weather we're having today in Denver, Colorado? I hope everybody was able to get out and enjoy themselves, have a cookout, get on the water, do something fun in this beautiful weather we're having. Today, I went ahead, we did a little barbecue at the house today. We had did some barbecue corn on the cob and some mesquite chicken legs. They turned out quite good, I must say. Pat myself on the back a little bit for that. So, welcome in. It's a great day. It's a great Sunday. It's a great end of the week. We've had beautiful weather all week. I hope everybody's week went good. They had no problems at work. Family's healthy. Everybody's doing good there. A lot of things happening in sports, like always. I say that a lot because there's always something going on, regardless of what your favorite sport is. There's stories out there to talk about, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. So I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Team USA basketball has been invited and accepted their invites for the Rio Olympics. Now, I don't know. All right, so we have this history in the United States. We haven't won every gold medal. No, we haven't. Russia's won one. Argentina got one. And I think Russia's got a couple, actually. But there is an expectation in the United States, and maybe you guys disagree with me, maybe not, but this is our game. If there's ever a game that is ours, it is basketball, right? That's our game. That's a game that at the Olympics, even with the rise of the current international player and how many of those we do have coming over to play in the NBA, they still don't have the talent pool that we have here in the States, right? It's America's game. We have the best players in the world here in the United States. And regardless of Zika or injury or rest, we have an expectation that the USA, out of all the Olympic sports, all the events, winter, summer, we have the expectation here that our basketball team is going to win. Now, did this start with the Dream Team back in '92? Maybe. That's when, the whole international thing got big. There's a lot of publicity hanging around the Dream Team. Dream Team, by far, is probably one of the greatest teams ever put together. Whether you think Isaiah should have been on the team or Shaquille should have been on the team over Leitner and Stockton, that's a whole nother debate. That's a whole nother story for a different day. That team was probably the greatest team ever assembled on any level. On any level. You put that team against anybody, and I would take them. Now here we are, 2016, 26 years later. I can't say this is a dream team. I can't say this is Dream Team 2 like they did in 96. Or Dream Team, what would be on 5 now. I just can't. Now, we'll go through the players here. We'll talk about them a little bit. There's some interesting stories woven into who's been selected for the team, whether it's free agency, the amount of times they've been on the team, how many gold medals they've won, things like that. But let's just start breaking this team down. Let's see what we got, right? Okay, so we got Kyle Lowry. Okay, Kyle Lowry, he's going to play some point for us. He's going to be a hard-working guy, hard worker. I think on the season he averaged between 8 and 10 assists a game, so he's probably going to be, looking at the list, your main assist guy on this team. After that, we got, I'll read through the 12 players, and then I'll just kind of pick out some guys that I want to talk about. How about that? So, again, Kyle Lowry, Klay Thompson, DeMar DeRozan, Deion Jordan, Kevin Durant, Harrison Barnes, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving, Carmelo Anthony, DeMarcus Cousins, Draymond Green, and Paul George. Now, Coach K has said he doesn't want to coach this team anymore. Not because he's mad at the team or whatever. He's just had his fill, and he's done right now. He's accomplished what he would like to accomplish with the program. Now, maybe he takes over the program and doesn't coach it. He still has some influence somehow. Who knows? We'll see. But looking at this team that's put together, sure, it's got some big names. But if they win it this year, in my opinion, this is going to be one of Coach K's greatest coaching achievements in his tenure. And I say that because where's the real leader on this team? Where's the guy who's going to settle everybody down, the veteran, who's just a consummate pro? Because right now, the top guy on this team, the top leader, if you guys can believe this, is going to be Carmelo Anthony. He's won 2 gold medals already. He'll be the first player, if the United States wins this summer, to win 3 gold medals for USA basketball. In a row, mind you. So right now, looking at this roster, he's the leader. You're going to look at a Kevin Durant because of his skill set and expect him to be a leader. But as we've seen, he's not the guy on the team that everybody looks to. He's not the guy that motivates anybody or settles them down and gets them back on track. This team doesn't have that. This team has a ton of athletes. This team can shoot. Now, Kyrie Irving, that's going to be an interesting one for me. He's coming off an NBA championship. He had a long season. But he has the ability to lead the point. Now, as we've seen, Kyrie's not a passer. He's a one-on-one isolation scorer, and he's great at it. He's a lot like Carmelo that way. So you're not going to see him settle it down if they run into trouble. If all of a sudden you got a Lithuanian team or an Argentinian team or a Spain team who's giving them trouble. They don't have that Jason Kidd, LeBron James, Chauncey Billups. They don't have that guy who's going to be the leader out there. So this is going to have to be a team effort. This is going to have to be a coaching effort. Now again, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of talent on this team. We got a couple of guys. Let's see. This year, Harrison Barnes, Kyrie Irving, both of them played in the Draymond Green. All 3 of them played, and Klay Thompson. So we have 4 guys who played in the NBA championship that are going for the gold. Only one of them, in Kyrie Irving, won it this year, which if he goes ahead and wins the gold now, he'll join a very select group. Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James, going back to 1980, of players who have won an NBA title and an Olympic gold in the same year. Scottie Pippen is the only one to do it twice. Not Michael Jordan, not LeBron James, not Kobe Bryant, nobody else. Scottie Pippen has won an NBA championship and a gold medal twice in the same season. Kyrie Irving could be another one to join him. Now, what are we going to get out of Draymond Green, Harrison Barnes, and Klay Thompson? Also coming off long seasons. Now, the gold medal by no means is a consolation prize. These guys take this very seriously. A lot of them are very patriotic, and they really feel like they are representing all of us in this basketball game. But what will they have left after such a long season? Will they still have that drive that got them to the NBA championship, to use that for the Rio games? That is a storyline to watch. If Thompson gets hot, he could dominate. If Kyrie gets hot, he could dominate. One guy that I really want to watch perform in the Olympics this year, and this may get a lot of people to laugh, is DeMarcus Cousins. His presence down low and his skill set, he could dominate and be the MVP of the Olympics. Could be. Totally his choice, if he's going to buy into the system and play as part of the team. But with his skill set throughout the Olympic tournament, you could see him do a 25-15. He has that kind of game. Paul George, I think this coming NBA season, you're finally going to see him getting back to the Paul George pre-injury. Okay? It takes a while to recover from that. I told you, Carmelo's going for his 3rd win, and that would make him the 1st. DeMar DeRozan, freakish athlete, big free agent name, linked all over the places. You're hearing rumors, Lakers. Today it comes out, he says he wants to stay in Toronto. That's his number 1 focus. Good for him. Good for you, young man. You're building something there. Stick with it. Don't just chase that dollar. You love what you're doing. You love where you're at. Stay there and make it big. I respect that. Good for you. Now, if it doesn't work out that way, it doesn't mean I don't respect him. He has put it out there that this is his stance. Now, publicly, he has to do that. He doesn't want to alienate the fans he does have if he does go to a different team. In turn, that hurts. That hurts him personally because now he's got to hear more boos when he comes back to the place that he loves in Toronto. And it hurts him financially because now he doesn't have as many fans buying his jersey. Let's be real about it, right? This is real deal. So we'll see how that plays out. Came out this week, Kevin Durant's got 6 visits lined up. OKC, San Antonio, the Clippers, Golden State, Miami, and Boston. Boston is a surprise to me. He said he's going to make his pick based on basketball decisions, who he's going to be playing with. Now, Boston's got a bunch of work-hard guys, but who is he going to be playing with up there? You going to say he's going to choose Boston because of Isaiah Thomas? No. Because of Evan Turner? No. There's nobody in Boston that he's playing with. So unless they got moves we don't know about yet, he's not going to Boston, in my opinion. There's a better chance of him joining Carmelo in New York than him being with Boston. The Miami Heat, that's intriguing. But for that to happen, you know D-Wade has to stay in Miami. D-Wade can't leave if Kevin Durant's thinking of Miami. He's not going down to play with Luol Deng. And look, Whiteside might even be leaving, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So it's just not going to happen that way in Miami for Kevin Durant either. Golden State, we've talked about on previous shows. The Clippers would be very interesting to me. Especially when, there's that rumor about LeBron James and Blake Griffin in a trade, and then that way Cleveland could keep their all-star and LeBron could play with Chris Paul. Well, I also mentioned on previous shows, what if LeBron and KD got a plan? What if they decide to hook up? You put all of them in LA with Deion Jordan and some of the stuff they got going out there with Jamal Crawford and JJ Redick. All of a sudden that team looks a lot more interesting in the West, doesn't it? So that one is intriguing to me. San Antonio also, with Kawhi Leonard and Aldridge down there. You add Durant in the mix, San Antonio's just going to keep getting their 50-win seasons. They're at like 17 years in a row or something with 50-plus wins. And that will continue if you add Kevin Durant to that young mix. And you get a Tim Duncan to take his player option, but restructure it somehow to where it's a little bit less money. Ginobili has opted out. He wants to test the free agent market. He's a 38-year-old guy who just wants to play. And he knows the business side is going to kick in, that ugly side. So Teammate USA is set. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's an interesting group. It's a young group. It's an athletic group. It's going to be fun to see Jordan getting some alley-oops from some of these guys, Will they do Kyle Lowry and DeRozan in a backcourt since they play together? There's all different kind of things you could look at here. Will DeMarcus Cousins have a blow-up and just go away? Let's hope not. Here's a story, though. We're going to move on now from Team USA. Feel free to get at me, chat at me, leave me messages, whatever, if you disagree or agree. And we'll go back and forth. We'll have a little chat. But here's another guy. He went away a few months ago. He left my Lions. Everybody talked about it, how the Lions get all-time greats and they retire early. Don't be stupid, everybody, okay? It has nothing to do with Detroit. It has nothing to do with the city of Detroit. It has nothing to do with the Detroit Lions organization. Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson made personal decisions. Were they affected by the football side? Of course. Nobody out there is saying that losing doesn't take a toll on an athlete. But when you're the type of person that Barry Sanders was, and I've met Barry Sanders, I've spent time with Barry Sanders. I got to spend 3 days with him, hung out, playing cards at a football camp when I was younger. Great guy. Not that, I'm so close to him that, here, I can tell you what he's thinking. But it gave me an insight. And hearing Calvin Johnson talk, it also gives insight on who these guys were. They weren't out there chasing records. They wanted to win a championship with their team. Their bodies and their minds had made up the decision for them. They didn't want to do it anymore. In fact, Calvin Johnson this week at his football camp said he was just tired of it. He was fed up. He just had enough of football. Now, when you think about what he went against, not just his athletic ability and how great he was, every game, every week, 2-3 guys lined up on you. 2-3 guys every play taking shots at you, trying to take you out of the game, hitting you in your knees, hitting you in your hands, hitting you in your ribs, taking out your ankles, rolling up on stuff. That